Hello one and all, and welcome to the energy update here on Cymatic TV. We're off on our way to find a dolmen, some standing stones. It's called the Alley of the Fairies, or Fairies Alley if you like. And we're in Provence, not Provence, in the Harrow area, just a little bit north of the Mediterranean, with some beautiful vineyards everywhere, and it's an absolutely amazing place. So yeah, it's absolutely a beautiful place. We're going to be there in a minute. We're going to be going through what's going on in the sun. We're going to be seeing what's happening on the earth energies as well, getting a chakra sequencing, and also getting getting a message from the earth and dowsing the dolmens. I will see you there. Yes. This is what I like about these sort of places, you know. People make up their own sort of like little shrines and so forth. It's really quite beautiful. Obviously, looks like a bit of a hippie, obviously, with the CND sort of thing. Cody's sniffing each and every single one of them. I'll do my own standing stones afterwards. But here we are, these dolmen here. As I said, the alley of, I said it's fairies earlier on, but it's more than that. It's F-A-D-E-S, Fedes. I will look it up and get a full detail on it. But it goes through these incredible stones here. You can see beautifully cool here, not hot at all. We come through here. Come through here, and there's some sort of seated area here. Obviously some sort of big stone here, and there was a big stone here. And I would have thought this was covered all the way actually. Might have even been covered right to the end, just to here. But it was this only one last stone that's standing there. And I've got a funny feeling that was a perfect circle there on this part here, as much as it is on the far end one on there. So let's get out and do a bit of dowsing. Let's find out a bit of history about this place. We're just coming up to the one side of it here. You'll see here, that's there you go, starting to kick in there. Just coming through the centre of it now. Let me just turn that around so you can see where we are in relation to it. And as we come forward, there it is, starting to kick out now. So that's the energy line that goes through the middle there. Goes right through the middle there. And then we have another line that comes through along the thingy. Let me just zoom out a bit. Because that's something gonna. Yeah, there we go. So as we come through here, there it is. There, it's kicking in here. Just kicked in. It's pointing slightly back because I'm just about to go past the centre of the alley. If I put it back onto here, it starts pointing directly into there. So yeah, so we've just come across it. It's strange because it doesn't feel the same as it does down that end. It feels completely different. Here we get sacrum energy, right? And we'll just go down there and douse that end there, and I'll tell you about that end. Let's get on to this one here. This is a much bigger line. Bizarrely enough, the line that this is just coming through it now, I'm walking into wind, but there it is there basically, it's pointing there. And once we come out of that line there you go, it's starting to open up now, and there it goes, it opens up. Yeah, so we're back out of the line. Now let's just try this end of the dolmen. It's already pulling on it now, I can feel it. As we go up here, and there it is, there it's getting pulled in. I'm pretty much directly in line with that. This site here obviously goes back around about, they say around about 5,000 years. I think it probably goes back even further than that. But you'd have to know about the wars that went on between the stone circles and the squared pyramids. It was all about controlling energy in those days. And it was a different kettle of fish. And this puppy here, it's like a cannon of energy. Oh, this is what I'm looking at as I'm sitting down. Straight down the eye of the needle. And this is a little bit what it's all about. Someone's quite very nicely planted that tree, not my finger, that tree that's right down there. It just seems to be a tree that's perfectly in line. So obviously people have been working here in the way of energies in a really, really positive way. It's a very good feeling about the place. So here we are in the middle of the dolmen. I'll go in a little bit about how what I think is going on here energetically, or what it was set up for energetically. Let's just have a quick look at the sun, see what's going on with the sun. There's been quite a few M flares, several that's been heading in our sort of direction. Today there's been an X flare as well. In fact, there's two very near X flares. It hasn't been X flares, it's M9.9. So there's been two today, and they're probably in the direction of the Earth coming here, probably in the next sort of 48 hours or so, between 48 and 72 hours. So that's the beginning of the week, and all of you have seen like your tarot readings. I was mentioning it about fire and air energy, and that's what it's going to be a bit about. There is a bit of plasma energy in as well, so that's a lot of emotions. And we saw in the weekly readings there was a sort of sensation of seeing things for what they are, seeing things really clearly, being able to sort stuff out, sort the chaff out from the wheat within our lives on an emotional level and also on a physical level. If you haven't seen your reading, you'll find it on our channel. Just go into the playlist and you'll find your sign that they're connected to. So yeah, that energy there that's coming through at the moment, I think is going to invigorate a lot of people and make people a little bit more sort of, let's get on, let's get on, let's get on. The thing is, there isn't that much in the way of corona holes as what I've seen. That came through last week. So this is building the ideas for the future. And this was the whole thing within the tarot readings this week. A lot of people were making decisions, or it seems to be that the energy is sort of saying now is the time to sort stuff out for the next 3 months. And it will affect us for the next 3 months, what we sort out in this coming week or so. I would have thought you're going to have sort of earth energies after that in the following week, in around about the sort of 6th, 7th, 8th of August, and that will bring in the earth energies. That will then be able to convert the ideas into physical reality. So if you haven't seen your reading, do go and have a look at it. Very interesting readings at the moment over on the Astroflower if you're watching this on Cymatic TV. Yes, so the sun has been kicking off, a little bit more sort of vibrant sort of energies. It's giving that consistency, because over the entire week there's been quite a few M flares, but there hasn't been a great deal directed in the direction of the Earth. But at the same time, that gives a consistency within the energies. And as I've said in the readings, when things are consistent, we seem to notice things a lot more that are around us, and therefore we can make adjustments in our life because we see it a lot clearer, because it's a lot more consistent. So I think this energy is contributing to that. In the way of world situations, I don't see the world situations in the old system, in the political system that we have at the moment, and the governance system that we have at the moment in any country. I don't see it breaking at any point as yet. I think there's a lot more emotion to come out of it before we find ourselves in a position where we can turn around and say, hey, do you know what? Let's just try things a little bit differently. Maybe we'll just stop knocking hell bells out of each other and we might be able to get along. You know, stupid idea, that maybe it's a good idea for us all to get along. But, you know, I think that's probably a good idea. You know. So that's the energies that have been coming through. Earthquakes have been very consistent, a lot around the sacrum as well. About getting ideas. These are fundamental ideas in our lives, and this is what I was talking about, the 3-month period, where we can really get to grips with what is working for us and what is not working for us, basically. So as you can well see on this map just here, this alley, or this dolmen, is facing in the direction of Narbonne and the Nouvelle Port, I think it's called the New Port, and it is crossed by a male line. So I'm sitting on the female line, and the female line is nowhere near as big as it should be. Dolmens is very simple. Dolmens, let me just put my rods down for a second. Dolmens are usually covered stone edifices. And menhirs are usually just stones that are straight up standing straight up, like that one there. But on their own, a bit like Stonehenge or Avebury Circle or Karnak. There's a lot of those sort of places. Now, obviously, dolmens is female. It's that horizontal energy. Okay? Menhirs are masculine, vertical energy. Pretty simple, really. And what's happening here is there's a male line crossing this female line. And as I say, the female line is a lot smaller than the male line. So it's not like a major crossing point. And in the times of Stonehenge and the pyramids and so forth, I call it the war between the circle and the square. You have Stonehenge, which is obviously circular, and then you have the pyramids, which are all over the world, in South America, obviously in the Middle East, but you also get them a lot in China. You even get them in the UK. But it's a circular pyramid. It's not like a square pyramid, you know, because the pyramids can use energy by channeling it into one point. That's what happens with the pyramids. The Stonehenge and so forth is a spiral energy. So it's using the universal forces to a certain different degree. So pyramids are sort of like channeling the Earth's energy in a very pointed way, and Stonehenge and so forth, and circles, stone circles and dolmens and so forth tend to be using the spiral of the energy of the Earth. You know, which is, they're both pretty good, and they both have their attributes, and they both have their shortcomings, like in everything. And I think at some point, in order to maintain a stability within society, to maintain a stability within the energy of the Earth, you had things like this thing here that were created to boost the female energy. And it will be using that male energy that's crossing over in order to use it like a cannon, let me just show you. I'm sitting right at the end of it. So here's like a accumulation point. As it goes in through that circle there, that's where it comes into the male line. And then where you get the other circle is pretty much where the other side of the male line stops. So there's like this creation chamber down there. There's like a creation chamber which is just down there in this section here, where you can charge the energy up, and from that charging of that energy, that's when you can, with meditation and so forth, you can fire it out across the land. Pyramids do the same sort of thing in controlling certain areas in the world. And that's what I think the main sort of situation in regards to dolmens and pyramids and so forth. It was a war that was a very, very long time ago. I personally think it goes back much more than 5,000 years, but you know, both on the pyramids and on Stonehenge and so forth. And they used energy in a completely different way. And it would have been a time when it was not in pole shift. Because when the energy is in pole shift, or the Earth's energy drops incredibly. And as it drops incredibly, we can't use as much energy ourselves. Because there's a weakened current running through the whole system. It doesn't mean that it's not as intense. It is, but it's also at the same time not intense enough for us to do things like levitation and so forth. Those times will come again, but at the moment the energies are not strong enough. As it goes through the pole shift. So I think this was all about a time probably between, I personally think we're looking much more in the sort of like beyond 24,000 years. Personally, at a snip, I would go down to 12,000, but I wouldn't put it before that. And the Aboriginals, Australian Aboriginals, the stories and folklores in that culture speak a lot about the lines that go across the earth, like that you could see on my map. And it's very similar sort of interaction, what you find in the same sort of cultural appropriation of energy locally to where you are. And this could be through Brittany, the UK, or even in America. The way in which we interacted with it, or interacts with energy, you can see the similar sort of stories that come out in the Aboriginal folklore. So this is how energy was used. So we're going to try this today, okay? We may be able to sort of see what that creates around about the Mediterranean basin, around Narbonne, and see if it brings up some good news. We'll be surveying the local news and see what's happening locally over the next sort of like 4 or 5 days. But in the meantime, let's just pick up on the Earth's energy, and we're going to get a message from the Earth. And we're also going to get a chakra sequencing. So we're right bang spank in the middle of the crossing point here. I can feel my legs wanting to do like a corkscrew sort of factor. It's got this sort of energy going on. It does want me to understand in the way of the earth and the male energy that's coming through here. But obviously I want to accumulate it. So basically I'm going to use the female energy that's coming through here. And female doesn't mean like male and female in the sense of man and woman. Obviously there's loads of attributes that go towards those two genders, but it mainly means that it's a different type of frequency, and we use different parts of our body. And So let's just connect to that energy now. There we go, that's really good. Wow, I can feel it coming up the legs. That's really, and now coming down from the sacrum, down from the crown, sorry. Wow. And there's the crossing point. So I've got the starting point there. Go straight to the crown and the root. Very, very defined. Comes back down. It hitting the throat chakra nicely. Very solid. Be very honest with your word. Comes down towards the sacrum. Make your fundamental desires in a line with what you can do. Wash away the illusions. You get the solar plexus. The third eye and the throat is now playing together. There comes the heart. Wow, that's really nice. That comes the heart. We've built up enough energy now. And then we're going to release that energy. And it's pulling me backwards. I can feel it pulling out, going down the cannon and going out behind me there. Really, really beautiful. So the chakra sequencing there, crown and root, the vertical energy, really important. And it could well be down to this place as well. But then we're getting the third, the throat chakra, followed by the sacrum and the solar plexus, followed by the third eye, and then coming back to the heart, and then really charging and letting it go. So if you're using a rhythm in life, if you're dealing with anything in life, first things first, just say what you want to happen. Recognize the fundamental desires of what you're saying, making sure that what you are trying to do is possible. And then you use your vision to open up the vision of what you want to manifest. And through that vision, then you can allow your heart to open that joyous energy to allow that manifestation to happen in your life. That is how you use the sequencing of chakras. So anything you're confronted with at the moment in this week here, if you use that sort of order to approach a situation energetically, it makes it a lot easier to get things done, to help manifest things. And I'm not talking about manifesting winning the lottery. You know, there's a lot of people here sort of saying, you can manifest what you want. That is such rubbish. Do not listen to people like that. Because you live in a world with lots of other people, and what you want may actually be very detrimental to a huge amount of other people. And the energy will not allow you to do that. So this whole idea that you can just choose and do what you want that's why I think getting rid of the illusions of what you're saying. Once you can get rid of them, that's when you can really start manifesting things. Let's just move on to get a connection to the earth. So I'm actually in the crossing point, so I can literally just delve straight down into the earth. I'm straight down there. I'm in the middle. It's very vibrant. It's white, which is really nice. It's lost the bands which we had last week. The bands are different colours. But this time now, let's just get a message from the earth. Be true to the idea of what you are trying to create. But be realistic to the idea of what is physically possible. one step after the other. And before you know it, you've walked miles. You've walked a long way. It's almost as like the earth is encouraging us to, like we're its children, as to sort of say, come on, just take that first step. Once you take that first step, oh wow, you realise you can walk. Soon you'll be able to realise you can run and jump and swim through energy. Be true to who you are. Just come back out on the centre of the earth. Here comes my vortex, back up into the body. Excellent. A beautiful day. A beautiful day to play with energy. Don't try and understand the human world as it's set up at the moment. Because the way it's set up at the moment is not conducive to natural living. Common sense natural living. Gradually start walking towards, even if people look around you and sort of say, they're nuts, they're mad. Kind of go, I may well be, but I'm happy. And I'm happy with my madness. And it doesn't seem mad to me. You seem mad. The idea of wanting to control people. They're wanting to, you know, even knock hell bells out of each other. That's mad. That's mad. That's psychopathic. I think it's time we did something else. We've got another video coming out this week on the energies. I will also be visiting another place in the next couple of days. I will try and bring that out before the weekend. Go and have a look at your weekly reading. It's absolutely brilliant. I will see you soon. Thanking you very much for all the support you give to this channel, in no matter which way it is in regards to YouTube. It's absolutely lovely. I will see you soon. In the meantime, don't forget, life should be fun, so please do enjoy.